This month alone, I have built 3 polished animated landing pages and an entire CMS, and I didn't generate it with AI. I didn't do it from scratch. I didn't use a UI kit or build a design system, and I didn't use a no-code tool. So how did I do it? Well, I used 2 big cheat codes. I'm gonna show you how to start designing before you even open Figma and find unlimited inspiration. How to create dynamic designs that are functional out of the box, and how to do the heavy lifting of building a product, even if you don't know everything about code or design. So the first cheat code is to work backwards. Modern front-end web and app development involves a tech stack, and the most popular tech stack right now uses React and Tailwind. So as a designer, I decided to do the same. Now, to back up a little bit, if you don't know, React is a JavaScript library that developers use to build websites and user interfaces. So when we hand off our static designs to our front-end developers, this is the language they're coding them in. And Tailwind CSS is a styling framework that makes it easy to customize how everything looks. So as a designer, instead of starting with static designs in Figma, I used an existing UI component library. Now, these are nothing new. Front-end devs and builders have been using these frameworks for a while now, but I'm not talking about any old UI component library. I'm talking about the new generation of UI components that are making it possible to build crazy looking stuff like this 10 times faster. For example, imagine you're designing a popover component or a navigation menu. Instead of starting from scratch and then noodling thousands of interactions in your prototypes in Figma and then annotating what you mean for the devs, you can grab a UI component from a library that's already fully designed and fully coded, and developers can plug it directly into your app. This saves so much time between design and code and ensures consistency between the two. Because it's built for React, it's completely stylable using Tailwind without wrestling with weird defaults and without having to pick entire color palettes and color scales yourself. It's copy and paste, so you don't need all of those code dependencies, and it includes the sickest animations and micro interactions like framer motion built right in. And they also have UI kits for Figma, so you can design with them. So here's the process I would use if I wanted to get started with these UI component libraries. The first step would be to communicate with your developers. Have a conversation with them about what they're using. Are they already using React? Do they have a framework in mind? Is there one that you like that they would consider implementing? Then the next step is to familiarize yourself with some of these UI component libraries. You can sit down together and go through them and see what might work, what might have the components that you need. There's some UI component libraries out there with amazing documentation that are also open source, so you can go through all of this stuff in detail and see if it'll work for your project ahead of time before you spend a ton of upfront effort implementing things. Number 3 is grab the Figma UI kit and then start using all of the components that are in there to assemble your UI screens and flows and customize them. So here I am inside of the Next UI Figma kit, which they've recently renamed to Hero UI. And you can see that there are themes here, so you can have dark mode or light mode. And then I'm gonna grab one of these Tailwind breakpoints. So maybe this one here that's 1280 by 768. And then I'm going to create a templates page here. So I'm going to start assembling these into screens. I'll paste this here and then just convert this to a frame. And now I'm going to name this frame Dark Container. Now with that, I will switch the color selection over to black so that my background's dark. And then I can just start dragging in these components. So I'll go over to the Assets tab, and then I'm just going to search for tabs, and I'll use that to create my main navigation. Just drag that in, and you're going to see that it's in white right now, so it doesn't quite work with the background. So all we need to do is select the container, go over to Appearance, and click on this little Apply Variable Mode, then select Tokens and click Dark. And there it is. You'll see it switches right over to dark mode. So if I were to duplicate this because I wanted to test in light mode, I select white for the background, I select the container, I'm gonna name this light container, and then go over to Appearance, select that token, and then switch it to light, and here we go. Just like that, back and forth, light and dark, just by dragging the components. So now we have all of these properties and variables that we can toggle on and off and select. So for instance, underlined here, that's great for navigation. We can take the background out and leave the button hover action. And then I'm going to drag in an avatar for our profile. This is a little big, so we go over to the properties and select the small size. Now that's nice and proportional. And then we just keep doing this. Let's say this is a dashboard similar to the one that I made. I'm going to drag in this table, and then I can customize it by toggling off the selection text box. We have node data mode. We can add sorting to this. We can add cards, we can add chips, and just keep building on this. And what's amazing is that we know that this is all available in code. So now you can refer to this component when you're talking to your developers. They can come in here and see it and the functionality. So here are our tabs, just like we saw it in Figma. And here's the code that they can just copy and paste and drop directly into their React project. So if you're a designer working with developers, you can shortcut so much of the process by starting with these already pre-designed components and just styling them. And if you're a developer that's not so confident in your design skills, well, these are really well crafted and ready to go, so you have a great boilerplate as a starting point. Now we have more time for the really important stuff, which is focusing on the user flows and experience. Now, normally when I do this, I'm collecting inspiration from all over the place, taking screenshots or screen captures of different apps and doing market research and competitor research and seeing what my users are currently using and how they're solving problems now. But this next cheat code does all of that for you, and it's called Mobbin. This is honestly one of my ride or dies, because we're talking about a catalog of screens and flows and interactions and screencasts of the best apps out there. And it's got a Figma plugin, so you can bring all of these into Figma and work with them. This is Spotify's Wrapped, and this is the flow of all of the screens for that. I just copied it from Mobbin, I opened the plugin and paste it here, and it's going to bring all of those screenshots in here so I can look through everything and get inspiration. You cannot afford not to subscribe to Mobbin if you are a designer or a developer that really cares about making great products. And a big shout out to Mobbin as our sponsor. I've featured them in other videos before, and it was really cool of them to support the channel. Now remember, you do not want your code base to get all out of control and unmanageable. So make sure that you aren't just trying to build the kitchen sink out of this. You're using these things smartly, sparingly, and you understand the experiences that you want to create. Also make sure that everything is well documented, and make sure that all of these components have their own unit tests. You can catch bugs early. What I love about NextUI, for example, is that it integrates with Storybook so that you can do all of those things and make sure that your components function properly. Now, NextUI is not the only component library. So if you want my full list of all of the best, hottest trending UI component libraries, then watch this video next. I go through all of them, why I love them, how to use them. Remember, I also have a course where I teach all of this stuff, so if you want to learn more about that, check out the link in the description below.